You just logged on and you didn't hear me already. We're looking for a block or a blanket today. If you have one close by, we've got some forward bends and twists on the menu. So if you feel like you might need that, go ahead and grab it. So I've moved the mic today off of my body because the interference in some of the postures that I've heard through the replay makes me a little bit crazy. So we're going to try this. Hopefully you can still hear me. It might be a bit echoey, but I'm going to be guiding you through a lot of shapes today. So I really want to make sure that I'm not distracting you with my rustling or anything like that. So all right. Okay, we're going to get started. So today's practice is called moving forward with a twist. So what we're going to focus on is some forward bends, movement of the body. We're just looking to put ourselves into shapes today. So yesterday was a bit more of a challenging practice where we were looking for a lot more muscle engagement. Today, I want you to focus on trying to just allow your body to explore the shapes that we come into. We're going to come into a lot of the standard typical practice postures, the warriors and the lunges and stuff like that. So what I would encourage you to do today as we make our way through the practice is to just focus on finding a place where you can feel that balance of strength and stretch, and then not be afraid to play around with it. With this today, we may offer a couple of exploration options. Doesn't mean that you have to take them, because with me on the mat today, I'm going to just show different expressions, different variations, and then encourage you, if it's available, to kind of come along and play with those shapes. So we're going to start in a lying down position today. So go ahead, lie down on your back. I will stay seated just for this part here. Take your body into a shape on your back that feels like you are relaxed. So if that means it's an active rest position, bending in the knees, planting the feet, or if you are more of a starfish sort of person and you really just want to elongate the body, elongate the limbs, whatever you can do to find yourself centered and still for a moment. And then in this space, maybe we do a bit of a scan of the body, checking in on the tight spots, the achy spots. And as always, remembering that throughout your practice, your focus and your goal is to listen to your body, to respect your body. And in this place of rest, recognizing that we will be moving our body, so we want to enjoy this stillness. Maybe incorporate a few deeper breaths. And then take a full deep breath in through the nose, an audible exhale out your mouth. And then inhale, maybe you're reaching your arms over and above your head. Maybe there's a little rock side to side to kind of open up through the side body. And then when you're ready, roll yourself onto your side of choice. Bring yourself towards hands and knees. And then slowly making your way to a place of standing. And in our standing position, find your mountain pose. Find your breath. Inhale, take the arms up. Grab a hold of that left wrist, lean to the right. Inhale back through center, switch the grip, lean to the left. Inhale back through center, right hand comes down the side body, left hand up and over. Back through center, left hand down, right hand up and over. Come back through center, reach up, maybe look up if it feels okay. Press the soles of both feet into the mat. Full breath in, full breath out. Release the hands down. Step the feet a little bit wider than hip width apart. Take a deep breath in, reach up. Exhale, soft bend in the knees, bum goes back, fold forward. And then walk the fingers between the left and the right side of your mat. And then coming back through center, we still have our knees bent, plant your left hand on the ground, open up, reach the right hand up. On your exhale, unwind, plant the right, bend slightly in that right knee, sweep up with the left. Back through, down into that forward fold, bend the knees, grab for opposite elbows, let the head hang heavy. Full deep breath in and out. Bending the knees, coming back up, reach the arms over and above your head. Maybe you look up. On your exhale, release the hands down. Stepping yourself towards the long edge of your mat. Nice wide stance with the feet, toes are pointing forward. Really strong through the outside edges of the feet. Take the arms out, full breath in. Full breath out. Drop your right hand down, your right leg, left hand reaches up and over. Come back through center, left hand drops. Come back through center. Exhale the hands down onto the hips. Lift and lengthen the body, maybe a gentle press of the pelvis forward, little back bend if it's available. Exhale, fold to that halfway position. So we're preparing the body for these folds. We're not trying to go into a space that's too tight just yet. On your next exhale, allow the body to fold deeper. Let your head hang heavy. Allow the hands to come to the outside of the left foot. And then the right. Come back through center. Plant the right hand, open up, windmill pose. On your exhale, release. Reaching with the opposite hand. Back through center, slight bend in the knees. Use your hands somewhere on the back of your legs and then pull your body towards your thighs. Lengthen your legs to increase the stretch. Bend the knees to soften. And then again, lengthen and soften. With that gentle bend in the knees, inhale, come all the way up. Press the palms together overhead, lean to the right. Back through center, lean to the left. Back through center, release the hands down. Step the feet back together. So from here, back in our mountain position, reestablish that firm foundation in the feet. To keep the safety of our back when we are working on forward folds, I typically like to cue the bending of the knees, because in bending the knees, it automatically tells our tailbone to go behind us. So what I want you to do is maybe 3 or 4 slow motion forward folds. So activate through the soles of the feet, bend the knees slightly. The bum goes back. Bring the belly towards the thighs. Round down. Tuck your chin at the bottom. And then just as slowly as you went down, come back up. So we're still bending in the knees, lengthening. And as we come up, the pelvis and the shoulders realign. Breathe in deep. And then again, bend, fold, roll down. Maybe you hug a little bit on the back of the legs this time to increase your fold if it feels okay. Bending the knees, rolling back up. Maybe arms come overhead this time. And then again, bend the knees, bum goes back. Belly towards the thighs, round down. Find your forward fold. Last one, bend the knees, roll up, maybe reach up, maybe back bend. Bend in the knees, roll down, hug the legs here. 3, deep breath in and out. Same way you entered the pose, we'll exit, reaching up and release. Take a couple moments in that mountain pose. Maybe notice how the body is feeling or reacting. Step yourself towards the top edge of your mat. Reestablish that mountain. Now we're going to continue with that forward fold idea, nice and slow. We're going to add a little bit of a lunge here. So inhale, reach up. Exhale, that bum goes back, knees bend, roll down. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back, long legs. Exhale, bend the knees, fold, plant the hands, right toes back, right knee down. Inhale, low lunge. Exhale, hands down. Tuck the back toe, step the right foot to meet with the left. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, fold. Left toes back, left knee down. Inhale, low lunge. Exhale, fingers down. Tuck the back toes, step forward. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, release. Step your right foot to the back of your mat, lengthening the stance. We want to have a not on a track, like not on a tight wire. We want to have them like a train track. So feet slightly apart so that both of those hips can face forward. Inhale, lift and lengthen. Exhale, fold, pyramid pose. So if you need a block, you could use the block to bring the floor closer towards you. If you have the mobility, hands can be on the floor or on the foot. Tuck the chin in. Deep breath in. Full breath out. Slight bend in that left knee. Use the strength of the leg. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, release. Right foot steps forward. Left foot steps back. Find that foundation. Lift and lengthen. Exhale, fold. Slight bend in that front knee, totally okay. Imagine that that left hip is being pulled towards the top left corner of your mat. Find your fold. Breathe. Slight bend in that left knee. Strong legs, strong core. Inhale up, reach up. Release the hands, step the feet together. Full breath in. Full breath out. From here, right foot goes back again. Planting the foot, hips are still squared towards the short edge of our mat. Maybe your hands are at heart center. Maybe your hands are up above. Maybe you choose a goddess position with the hands. Full deep breath in. Full breath out. From here, opening up towards the long edge of the mat. So pivot and then hips face the long edge. Arms come out to the side. And then gaze over your left fingertips. Warrior two. Reverse your warrior. Drop the hand down the back leg. Flip the palm up and over. Don't lose the bend in the knee. Come back to your warrior two. Come back to your warrior one. Bending deeper in the knee, reach forward, fingertips down, step the right foot to meet with the left. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, fold. Inhale all the way up. Release the hands. Left foot steps back. Squaring the hips and shoulders. Find that length in the upper body. Choose your hand position. And breathe. On your exhale, pivot, open out, warrior two. Driving the knee towards the pinky toe edge of the foot for strength. Through the inner thigh. Drop the palm down, flip the right palm, reverse the warrior. Back to your warrior two. Back to your warrior one. Lean forward, fingertips towards your block or the ground. Step your left foot to meet with your right. Inhale all the way up. Exhale, release. Inhale, sweep up. Exhale, fold. Halfway lift. Fingertips plant, right toes back, right knee down. Inhale, low lunge. Maybe if you're feeling a little spunky today or you want to make it a little more challenging for yourself, maybe we turn this low lunge into a crescent lunge by lifting the knee. Full breath in. Full breath out. Fingertips come down. Step the right foot to meet with the left. Rolling up, bend the knees. Inhale up. Exhale, fold. Halfway lift. Fingertips plant, left toes back, left knee down. Inhale, low lunge. Lift the knee if you're going for the challenge. On your exhale, lean forward, fingertips down, step the left foot to meet with the right. Inhale all the way up. Exhale, release. Stepping back to the long edge of our mat. Nice wide stance. Rotate the toes outwards. Bend the knees so that the knees start to track over the toes. Take a little shift side to side. And then lengthen. So we're going to come into a bit of a twist in our goddess position here. So from this position, we want to think about bringing the elbow over and across the body. So bending the knees. Establish your foundation. Right elbow towards the left knee. Left elbow towards the knee. So this is just gentle, side to side. Kind of feeling that twist. Lengthen your legs if you need to. Even it out. Back through center. Lengthen. Full breath in. Full breath out. Rotate the toes back so that both of the toes are facing forward. Inhale, lift and lengthen. Exhale, fold. So from here, we want to encourage the pelvis to continue to fold and roll with us. So we're going to rock slightly towards the toe edge of the foot. Let the weight become a little heavier in the front side. And then find your forward fold. You can hold on to the back of the legs, the ankles. Maybe do a little rock side to side. Should feel like a good stretch. Using your hands to support you if you need. Inhale to that halfway position. Inhale all the way up. Couple of deep breaths. Step the feet back together. So we're going to welcome a little bit of a twist into our balance. So let's just stand and regain our foundation. Take a few breaths. Soften the shoulders. Check in with where you're at. From here, grounding in the left foot, bring the right knee up. So if you need to hold on to something, a wall or a piece of furniture, you're more than welcome to do that. From here, we want to bring the knee over and across the body. So left hand reaches over, pull the knee, and then square the shoulders forward as best as you can. Pulling the knee into the belly as tight as you can, while still maintaining your breath. And then with control, release. Maybe there's a little shift side to side, a shimmy of the hips. Grounding your right foot. Bring your left knee into your chest. Right hand guides the knee to give a hug towards the belly. Find your breath. Breathing in deeply. Exhaling fully. With control, release it. Face back towards the short edge of your mat. Few breath in and out. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, fold forward. Halfway lift. Plant your fingertips, right toes back, right knee down. Inhale to center. Hands to heart center. Twist towards the left side. Elbow hooks. Rotate the body. And then push the hands away. In towards one another and elbows away from one another. If it feels okay, maybe you tuck your back toes. Maybe you lift your knee off of the ground. Find your breath. Coming out the same way that we went in. Fingertips down towards the ground. Step the right foot to meet with the left. Inhale halfway. Exhale, fold. Left toes back. Left knee down. Hands to heart center. Twist towards the right. Hook the elbow if you can. Press the hands in together, elbows away. If you want more, tuck the toes. Lift the knee and breathe. Coming out the same way we went in. Fingertips to the ground. Step the feet together. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, release. 2 more breaths here. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, bend the knees. Bum goes back, fold. Plant your hands, downward facing dog. Nice and strong in our downward dog. Your choice, stay in your downward dog, practice the strength in the downward dog, taking a break whenever you need. If you want to bring it into the twist, right hand stays planted, right fingertips grip. Left hand, maybe heart center, maybe the outside of the hip, or maybe down towards the foot. Breathe. Back through center. Twist on the other side if it's available for you. Push the hands into the floor. Strong shoulders, strong breath. Back to your downward facing dog. Lower your knees. Take a child's pose. Transitioning from our child's pose into a revolved child's pose. Take your left hand, palm flips up towards the ceiling, reach it underneath. So like thread the needle meets child's pose. Right hand comes back to a place of support. Release the left. Then sweep the right underneath. Palm flips up. Left hand grounds and supports. Unwind. Tuck your toes, downward facing dog. From your downward facing dog, walking your hands towards your feet, bending your knees so that when you come in towards that forward fold, we again have found that safe entrance. And then from here, take your progression coming into your deeper expression as your body is ready. And then safely bend the knees, roll up, find a couple of deep breaths. So our last standing sequence here before we make our way down towards the ground. We want to be at the top edge of our mat so that we can find triangle pose. So taking as long as you need to establish that foundation, opening the arms outwards. Lead with your left hand. So just like we did in the warrior two, we're opening our hips towards the long edge of the mat. So we're opening through the chest, opening through the side body. Inhale, come back. Rotate the feet. Other side. Coming back, rotate again. When we rotate this time, hips are going to square towards the short edge of the mat, so we can set ourselves up for a revolved triangle. So the safety of the low back is imperative here. We want to make sure that the pelvis is in a neutral position so that when we hinge forward, we're not twerking unnecessarily into the low back. You can use a block for this, a book, or if you've got the mobility, you can have your hand on your foot or ankle, the floor. From here, maybe you just stay here. Maybe you start to look towards the left side of the mat. If that feels okay, maybe you take your left arm and reach it up. Revolved triangle. When you unwind, come out the same way that you went in. Pivot over. Set yourself up on the other side. Hinging at the hips. Left fingertips wherever they're going to plant. Right ones may reach up. Unwinding. Bend the knee. Coming back up. One last time, rotate the feet towards the long edge of your mat. Nice wide stance. Hands onto the hips. Full breath in, lift and lengthen. Exhale, hinge at the hips. Fold. Taking your deepest expression here of your wide-legged forward fold. And just for fun, if you are playing around with this in your own practice and you are considering what happens when we transition from a forward fold into a headstand, maybe you think about taking the feet wider and wider, imagining that one day the head will connect with the floor. And if you're in that space, maybe you rock the weight towards the toes, just to feel a little bit of weight. Using the ground to help you to that halfway position. And then walk the hands towards the short edge of your mat as you bend and pivot, coming down on towards hands and knees. Full deep breath in, full exhale out. Shift the weight back towards the heels. Take the knees further apart like you would for a child's pose. Take the hands behind the back. Roll the chest open. Maybe you look up, maybe you move your head. And then from here, two options. Option one, you find yourself in your child's pose. And then you bind your hands behind your back. Or option two, playing around with it, we can come in towards that forward fold with the bind already. And maybe that means that the arms have a little bit of space to lift off of the low back. So if you're taking that variation, engage through the core, push the sit bones down and away, roll the head under, and maybe lift the arms up. Release the hands back down to the low back. Bring the hands back to a place of support beneath your shoulders. Realign into your neutral tabletop position. Roll through a few cat and cow. And then either crossing the ankles or sweeping the hips to one side so that you can find yourself in a seated position. Now for these couple of seated postures, if bending forward is challenging for you, then prop yourself up on a blanket or something to elevate the sit bones. I don't need help in my own body here, but if you position yourself at the top edge of your blanket, you will notice that your pelvis starts to tilt forward already. So there's a little bit of a gap beneath the sit bone and the floor. Soles of the feet together for bound angle. Lift and lengthen. And then imagine that somebody is pulling a string from the breastbone or from the heart towards the top edge of your mat. So it's a nice slow progression, lengthening in the spine, rounding and leaning forward. I like to encourage side to side movement when coming into forward bends because it's typical that one side of the body will be tighter than the other. And that side to side motion acts as a little bit of a massage, maybe relaxing the tissues. And then in that forward position, you let your head rest. So if that means that you're stacking your hands or maybe bending your elbows, if you've got good movement in the forward fold, you could wrap and bind the arms and allow your head to come a little bit closer towards your feet. And taking your time, making your way back up, finding a tall spine. few deep breaths in and out. And then from here, we're going to take that same posture into a bit of a twist. So bringing the body, so from the belly button alignment with the toes towards the knee. So we're rotating towards the knee and then pulling the body forward. So I like to hug my knee. That gives me a little bit of leverage. Pull the body in towards the leg in towards the body. And coming back through center, find that tall spine again. And then rotate the belly button towards the knee. Pull the body towards the leg. Hold on wherever you can. Making your way back through center. Full deep breath in and full exhale out. Unbinding the feet and taking them out as far away as they will go. I'm going to stay in this sideways position so that we can, so you can see the bind options if it's available to you. So wide-legged forward fold. Again, sitting on that blanket, if you have that bit of challenge in moving forward in those folds, we want to find a stretch, but we also want to incorporate the upper body. So same thing as we did in that child's pose position. We'll bind our hands behind our back, sitting up nice and tall, roll the chest and shoulders open. Full deep breath in and full exhale out. So you have a choice here depending on where your mobility is at. If it's feeling pretty good, we've done lots of folds and you're warmed up, maybe you have the ability to come into a deeper forward fold. And then if it's available, maybe you even have the ability to lift the arms off of your back. Coming back up, tall spine, breathe. Maybe you unbind the arms, maybe roll them forward and back. We're going to do 2 more of those. So as opposed to the long hold, we're going to practice that entrance into the posture. So if you don't want to bind the hands, totally okay. But lift the chest, lift the low belly, creating space for the fold. Full deep breath in. Whichever variation you're choosing, on your exhale, take it forward. Support yourself where you need, but if you've got the space, take a different variation. Play around with it. Rolling yourself back up. Full deep breath in. Complete exhale out. Maybe if you've gone for the bind and you're going to continue with the bind one more time, you do the roll of the wrists, open and close the palms. Whichever variation you're choosing, thinking about lifting and leaning. Engage through the pelvic floor. So belly button comes in, a lift to the lower part of the pelvic floor, and then leaning forward again. Any variation that you've chosen, go ahead and enjoy. And then back up we go. Full deep breath in. Full exhale out. Feet come together. Take a moment. Maybe there's a little rock side to side that you do. And then from here, back towards hands and knees. Sweep the feet to the side. Now you may need your blanket or your block. We're going to come into melting heart or puppy dog pose, and then we're going to take it into that little bit of a lateral twist as well. So I'm going to utilize the blanket just so that my voice doesn't get muffled. We want to come into the posture from a neutral tabletop position, and then walking the hands about 8 inches further forward. So it starts to create this downward slope from the shoulder to the wrist. And then from here, we leave the sit bones high and then melt the chest down towards the ground. Use some really deep exhales here to find and release any tension that's being carried along the rib cage or underneath the arms. And then grounding in the right fingertips just enough so that we can take the left arm, reach it beneath the right, and then pull down and back. Ground in the right fingertips. Then planting the left hand again, ground those fingertips, reach the right one beneath, pull down and back. Ground through the left, unwind the right, replant the hands beneath the shoulders, cat and cow. And then finding a downward facing dog. Pedal it out, shift side to side. Full breath in. And release. Back towards that neutral tabletop position. Choose a hip. Find a seat. Take your left leg long. Bend in your right knee. Cross the right over top of the left. Maybe you choose to stay here. Maybe this is enough. If you want more, wrap the left arm around the right knee and rotate towards the right side. For those of you that may have the bind, you're welcome to explore that. And then coming back through center, uncrossing, bending the left knee, crossing it over, hug it in. If you're open to the rotation, turn towards that left side. Come back through center. Extend the legs. Shift the weight forward. Go ahead, lie down onto your back. If you want to have your blanket beneath your low back for a little bit of extra support, you're welcome to. Crossing the left foot over top of the right knee. Do a couple of rocks from side to side. And then we're going to pull that left heel a little bit closer towards the right hip. So it's coming up on the body as we roll towards that right side. You can maintain the hold of the ankle if that helps you with the stretch. And then if you have the availability, you could also turn this into a bind and grab a hold of the right toes. And then in this space, just focus on your breath. These deeper twists ask a lot of our body and our neurological system because we're asking it to do a lot of things at one time. So if twists aren't something that you practice all the time, you may find that you get a little anxious or you can't wait to get out of the pose. I encourage you to welcome breath, extending the exhale if you do feel that tendency to want to run away from these twisting poses. Full deep breath in and out. Unwind, uncross. Reestablish that good low back connection. Cross the right over top of the left. Rock it side to side. And then pulling the heel closer in towards the hip. Roll towards that left side. And if the bind is available, go ahead and grab a hold of the foot. And this should target a little bit more in towards the glute med or the IT band, and then in towards the fascia along the right side of the body here. So what we're looking, especially if we feel a lot of sensation here, is to just observe and then relax and breathe into that observation. So your observation may become, holy, this is tight, or yes, I feel this. And then we direct our breath. How can I relax a little more? A full deep breath in and out. And then release, unwind, come back through center. Give a nice big hug of the right knee in towards the chest. Lengthen your left leg long. And then bring that right knee over and across the body. Maybe you roll towards the hip, or maybe you explore somewhere in between. Maybe you're gazing over your right shoulder. Feeling that compression of the belly in your twist. So you're pulling the knee up and over. So there should be a little feeling of squeeze or hug in towards the organs in the belly. On your exhale, unwind. Hug the knee in towards the chest. Bring the left knee to meet with the right. Extend your right leg long. And then bring the knee up and over towards the other side. Maybe your gaze goes away from the knee here too. On your exhale, go ahead, unwind. Hug that left knee back into the chest. Maybe you bring the right to meet it. And a couple of circles in each direction. And then any other posture that you would like to incorporate. Maybe there's one that you feel like we missed. I will come to my seated position. You guys will stay in whatever your Shavasana position is for today. Taking some time to just notice and scan the body. In my own body, when I practice a lot of twists, I kind of have a little bit of a tingly feeling that resonates in my body, specifically in the spaces that are a little bit tighter. So maybe you scan the body, maybe you notice that in yourself. And then just like we did at the beginning of our practice, we want to find that position that we can rest and relax in. Our practice today has detoxified the body. It's stretched the body. It's realigned the body. So in your Shavasana space, maybe you feel all of those points that we touched on in our practice. Allowing your body to no longer feel like it has to work. Let yourself just be. Taking a full deep breath in through the nose. And an audible release. Again, breathing in and release. Start to welcome movement into the fingers and the toes. Maybe finding a reach or stretch. Taking your time. And then eventually making your way back towards a seat. And from our seated position, we'll take a nice deep breath in and an audible exhale out. Take your right hand over and across your body, left one behind you. One last twist in each direction. And then back in through center. Full deep breath in. Audible exhale. One more time, breathe it in. Gentle retention at the top. And breathe it out. And your hands can stay as they are or make their way towards heart center. Taking a moment to honor yourself, your health, and your practice. Thank you for sharing that with me. Namaste, guys.